Warning. The following program contains content about sports and the sports world. This show is an assembly of college kids who enjoy sports and like yapping about said sports. Claims and views described and promoted do not reflect those of Central Michigan University, the Central Michigan University Broadcast and Cinematic Arts Program, or Moore Hall Television. If you should have any comments, questions, or concerns, reach out to the show via email, cardguyshow@gmail.com. Please subscribe to the channel. Leave a like if you feel so inclined. Perhaps leave a comment down below. And please enjoy the following program.
You are listening to WMHW HD1 and HD2 Mount Pleasant, Mountain 91.5, a service of Central Michigan University School of Broadcast and Cinematic Arts. Live from the Dr. Jerry Henderson Radio Complex, it's time for Card Guys. And now, here's your host, Anthony Schulte.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Michael, for the intro, as always. And welcome to Card Guys Season 2, Episode 3. Coming up today, we preview an exciting NFL Championship Sunday and discuss each and every Detroit sports team. Yes, even the Pistons. Joining me, as always, is my man, Ryan Donnelly.
Colt Keith fans, this is for you.
Also, right next to me, Mr. Michael Rosenkranz.
Yo, 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 yo. Great to be here for the show today. I left you hanging there, Anthony.
Left me hanging a little bit.
You knocked me on the elbow there to get my attention. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. And also joining us as a special guest, my roommate all the way from the legendary Cobb 307, Mr. Tyler Brazill.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Hope you guys are having a good morning.
It's going to be a great show here today. Starting us off, a very exciting championship weekend in the NFL. We've got two matchups. Let's start off with the one we all know and love, 49ers-Lions, 6:30 in Santa Clara, California. Jared Goff going back home. We kind of talked a little bit about this matchup in our show on Monday. What are you guys thinking? Tyler, I'm specifically looking at you right here. What are we thinking about for this championship game and what we think is going to happen here?
You know, I feel like if San Fran plays like they did against the Packers, I think the Lions have a really good shot. I really think they do, because it's not like they came into Green Bay and just blew them out. They're not as let's say scary as I thought they were. They are still a scary team, but you know, if they didn't really come into like the Packers and blow them out, I think the Lions still have a pretty solid shot. So I think it's going to be a very close game, and I think it's going to be very exciting and very nerve-wracking for us watching it. So
they're only favored by 6.5, the 49ers are, and I honestly feel like it's that low. It's under a touchdown because they didn't take care of the Packers the way we expected. You know, maybe it's a combination of, slow feet, cold feet coming into the playoffs. You have an off week. You didn't play your starters in Week 18, so really you've had 2 off weeks when you think about it for your impact players. And maybe it's the mixture of that, and the Packers are just that good, and in a rebuilding year, they just have that much talent they've acquired. Jordan Love's come into his own. Romeo Doubs has been great. Jaden Reed out of Michigan State, he's been great. I think it's a mixture of the both, but the Lions have more talent on their roster. So if more talent, and honestly, I'd say an equal defense now that the Packers have lost Rasul Douglas, they have the same amount of impact players that can make a key play, maybe not consistently, but they can make a key play. I see a lot of similarities between Green Bay and Detroit, and the fact that Green Bay kept them so close, maybe since the 49ers have had a little bit of a kickstart after that one game, and maybe they're a little bit upset after not winning the way they wanted to and almost losing. Kyle Shanahan was, 0-30? I think it was. I forgot the exact stat, but he was 0-30 in the specific circumstance that the 49ers were in. And that's their first win in the Shanahan era under that circumstance. Again, it's not coming to my brain. Of course it's not. It's early in the morning, folks. But the Lions had a chance, And I think that's really key to point out is a lot of people are like, oh, Lions are done. They made the conference championship. It was a good run. No, the Lions have a chance. And I don't think anybody should be surprised if the Lions somehow pull out a very close, narrow victory, maybe in the final seconds or the final minutes.
And we're going into this game as the underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
We normally strive when we're the underdogs. And all of America is going to pick the Niners to win. Everybody on NBC and Fox and whatever, they're going to pick the Niners to win. We play better when we're on prime time, and we play better, when we're the underdog. We're going into Santa Clara, like I mentioned in this past Monday's show, that Jared Goff has experience playing in California. He played for the Rams, grew up in California, went to school at the University of California. He knows how to play in California. Another thing that I want to point out, Colton McKivitz, a left guard for the 49ers, he gave up 10 sacks this year. Aiden Hutchinson has 8 sacks in the past 4 games. What a stud. Be on the lookout for a big game from Aiden Hutchinson, especially if he gets put on Colton McKivitz. He is going to have a huge game. Now, Trent Williams, that's going to be a tough matchup, especially for guys like Anzalone and Jack Campbell and Benito Jones and Allie McNeil. If one of those guys are put on Trent Williams, they're not getting anywhere. But if you put a guy like Hutchinson or Campbell or one of our MLBs or one of our left defensive ends, we're going to light up Brock Purdy, especially Aiden Hutchinson. Expect a big game from Aiden Hutchinson, folks at home, whether you're watching here live here on the radio or here on YouTube. I expect a big game from Aiden Hutchinson.
Another thing we need to take away is the check down. There are a lot of check down passes that we've given up all year. We've given up a lot of check down passes, and that's how this San Francisco team thrives in the passing game. Brock Purdy's not a long-range quarterback at all. Cam Newton called him a game manager, and that's exactly what he is. No matter how good his team plays or how good his numbers are, that's what he is. He's a check down merchant. You have Christian McCaffrey, who's one of the best running backs in the league. You give him a little check down pass 4 yards ahead, and he's just going to do what he does with an open hole in the line, right? Deebo Samuel, if he plays, he is literally a check down receiver. So you have all these check down weapons. If we can eliminate the check down, right? And obviously we have to work on other things too, like the deep ball in the secondary with Ayuk and Kittle. But if we can eliminate the check down, that puts a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy, not only being able to throw it, but being able to make those decisions and go to the different levels of the defense, which we've seen him struggle with all season. I think another thing that we need to really harp on is the use of James Houston. If he comes back, we need to make sure we play him in the right ways where he can be impactful. If they're gonna double Hutchinson, right, and they're gonna hold on Hutchinson, we need somebody to attack the other side while everybody's focused on Hutchinson, and that's Houston. That's how Houston thrived at the end of last season. And when we see him, hopefully on Sunday, that's another big thing on this defense is he now brings the pressure off of Branch and Melifonwu, who have to come in as his role as an outside linebacker, jetting in on the quarterback. So he's a very underrated piece to this puzzle, in my opinion, James Houston coming back.
James Houston is going to be a big component depending on if he comes back or not. And I just read a few seconds ago that Deebo, you probably already know this, but Deebo Samuel does not have a fracture in his shoulder, so he is gearing towards probable that he is going to play Sunday. It's just going to be, I would assume it's just going to be a game time decision. But I think in terms of this overall matchup, Niners and Lions, one of the things that I'm going to be looking at is the Lions. They haven't really thrown the deep ball too much. Thank you, Ryan.
You're a little quiet.
As my microphone was a little quiet, you can hear on the headphones there. Lions don't throw the deep ball often. I'm reading on ESPN that they throw the deep ball just 7% of the time. It's the lowest rate in the NFL. The 49ers can defend the deep ball. My concern, if the 49ers go with the deep ball, if Brock Purdy decides to mix it up from checkdowns, will the Lions be able to defend? Given what we saw in the first 2-minute drill, the first half against the Bucs, Cam Sutton, I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
it's not going to be looking good.
Don't forget Vildor. Vildor needs to be criticized.
Vildor.
I do not like that Amazon book tablet, man. That's what I'm calling him, an Amazon book tablet. That's what he is. Kindle Vildor. Where did he come from? We talked about this on Monday's show. He just appeared one game, and all of a sudden he's starting for us every game. Where did he come from? I didn't even see him get elevated off the practice squad. I have notifications for whatever move is made in the NFL. And I did not see anything about a Kindle Vildor. And all of a sudden I'm watching a game and Vildor makes a tackle. I'm like, who is this guy? Right? I think every Lions fan collectively said, who is this guy? Right? And now he's starting for us in the NFC Championship game, assuming that's how the Lions go. We're going to move on from the Lions 49ers. We talked a lot about this game. The Lions did make a big signing, though. Zach Ertz signed for the rest of the season. Could this be a one-game signing? Maybe. Is he ring chasing? Perchance. But it's Zach Ertz. It gives us another tight end in that room with Brock Wright not looking like he's going to be playing on Sunday. It gives us a Pro Bowl presence and a championship presence as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think Zach Ertz won with Philly.
Yes, he did.
On that Philly special team with Nick Foles. So he's been to the Bowl before. He knows what it's like to win. And he's a multiple-time Pro Bowl selection. I wanted us to make this move initially when Laporta, mind blanked, when Laporta got injured originally in Week 18. Immediately, I was like, Zach Ertz, we need to sign Zach Ertz just in case, Laporta's not able to go. But Laporta's a dog, and he grinded that out.
Yep.
And now we have Zach Ertz as a backup when, you know what, if we want to run a 2 tight end split, if we want to run 2 tight ends, Zach Ertz is a great option. It's not like we're throwing to Brock Wright, who knows? He could drop it. He could fumble it. It's Brock Wright. Who knows? He's not a proven NFL tight end. Zach Ertz is. So now that we have 2 proven NFL Pro Bowl tight ends in our arsenal, that might unlock some more plays for Ben Johnson.
Yep.
And we might see some more creativity. And it might catch the 49ers off guard because we've never been able to use a 2 tight end set effectively this season.
Right.
All respect to Brock Wright. He's a heck of a player. But he's not a proven NFL tight end like Zach Ertz is. And Zach Ertz was still playing good last season until his injury.
I just have a really odd feeling about the Lions. Like, I feel like they really want it. I'm not saying the 49ers don't, but I think, like, there's a part where I think that they want it more.
The Lions appreciate it.
And I think that we're gonna see that come out in that game. I think we're really gonna see them, take over. I don't know. I feel like you're gonna see I feel like the tone's going to be set in a way, So
it's going to be an exciting game.
It's going to be an exciting game.
6:30 on Fox. The Lions and the 49ers will square off to go to Las Vegas. A ticket to Las Vegas and away from the Pro Bowl. No team wants to be part of the Pro Bowl. No player wants to be part of the Pro Bowl. They want to be in the big bowl.
Yes.
The big boy. Moving on to the AFC, we've got the Taylor Swift Bowl. Because this is where NFL fans and Swifties collide for the matchup of a lifetime. Lamar Jackson has a single job this weekend, and that is to advance to Las Vegas. Because we all know if the Chiefs move on and they go to the Super Bowl again, Taylor Swift will be on the television screen more than the players on the field. They might have an alternate Taylor Swift broadcast where you can watch her watch the game. They might give her her own broadcast live from the booth with Brittany Mahomes. I don't want to know what they're going to do on CBS and Paramount Plus if the Chiefs move on to the Super Bowl. I'm tired of the Chiefs, frankly. I think everybody's tired of this team. We want to see some new folks in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are the most annoying receiver quarterback duo of all time, in my opinion. I do not like them. And the Ravens. The Ravens are a feel-good team, aren't they?
Yes,
they've got
they
some
sure
players that you want to see win a ring. We've seen that Kansas City team win a ring. I think one of the only impact players I have in is Rashee Rice, right? And you know what? He's a good player. I want to see Lamar get a ring. I want to see Lamar cap off the MVP storybook season. I want to see Odell get another ring. I want to see Zay Flowers get a ring. I want to see Mark Andrews get a ring. I mean, need I go on, right? Dalvin Cook. Let's see Dalvin Cook get a ring, right? The Ravens team is so likable, right? It's just a good football team on both ends of the ball. They are one of the best at both ends of the ball. It's rare you see a team like that. And seeing this team go to the Super Bowl to play, whether it's the 49ers, which would just be, as much as people are clowning it, it would be an electric Super Bowl, folks. That would be a fun Super Bowl to watch. Or the Lions, which, again, it would be a fun Super Bowl to watch. I just feel like if the Chiefs are there, it's going to be like, here we go again, right?
Personally, from a football fan's perspective, if the Lions weren't at this position, I'd go Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
I don't want to see Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. But from a
think
Lions
anybody does.
perspective on who, if we win, I want to see win the Super Bowl, I want to see the Chiefs so we can beat the crap out of them and walk our way to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
I'd be scared to play the Ravens because they're at this position where they at right now without Marlon Humphrey and Mark Andrews. And Mark Andrews went down.
He's going to play. He's going to play on Sunday.
I know, but that's crazy how they stayed a 1 seed without probably their best receiver. That just shows the impact that Lamar Jackson has on this team. It shows the impact on how much depth the Ravens have. They have Odell, and they have Zay Flowers, who, by the way, was a steal. Better than Quentin Johnson.
Isaiah Likely, got to give him his flowers. He's been
Isaiah
great.
Likely, too. He's also been wonderful. And this defense is perfect. Marlon Humphrey's been out for a while. Didn't even play against the Texans, and look at what they did. Look what this defense did. Shout out my boy, Michigan-made David Ajabo.
Oh, yeah.
Although he hasn't looked the best, he's still on the Ravens. But
Jadeveon Clowney is another name.
Yes.
Who's been
He didn't
very
even-
good this year.
He didn't
Good
even get
resurgence
signed
season.
until maybe a week or two before the season started, and
Yeah.
he's played really well.
He got that incentive on Monday Night Football. He got that incentive.
Just on paper, I really want the Lions to play the Chiefs just so we can have a chance at winning. But I don't want to see Taylor Swift at all on my television screen.
And this is coming from the heart. I would rather see the Ravens win than Taylor Swift at
Yes.
the Super Bowl.
Oh,
It would
I
ruin.
would rather
I
see that.
agree.
Sure.
It would
I
ruin
agree.
the whole weekend. And that's not trying to be a hater towards Taylor Swift or her fans. It's really not. And you know what? I don't mind some of her songs, but I just think the NFL went so OD with the Taylor Swift coverage that's like if you put her in the Super Bowl where they know everybody watches, I would not be surprised if Usher gets kicked off the halftime performance.
No.
Oh, that would be something.
That would
That
be
would be
They'll have
Would
nuts.
y'all be surprised?
They'll have Taylor Swift singing "Yeah" and "My Boo."
That would be nuts.
I can't go through a Super Bowl weekend with just Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. I can't. I'll explode.
Usher
I
would be
will
my
explode.
Band-Aid.
Yeah.
But it'll be a fun. It'll be a fun game on Sunday, wouldn't it?
It will be a fun game Sunday. The thing that I'm looking at in terms of Ravens and Chiefs so far right now is the Chiefs' run defense.
Yes.
Houston's defense on the run was not that good. Lamar Jackson had really kind of a balanced act. We talked about that on Monday, folks. The balance act of getting, I think it was 152 passing yards and just about 100 rushing yards.
110 rushing yards
Yes.
for Lamar.
Wow.
And
The
2
Chiefs,
touchdowns too.
the Chiefs' defense, in my mind, will provide a little bit more resistance than Houston's defense.
Yeah.
But I still think Lamar Jackson is going to have a field day against the run,
Yeah.
or when he's running. And again, Lamar Jackson can still make accurate throws. His connection with Zay Flowers has been incredible. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the Ravens and Chiefs, and I'm going to root for the Ravens. You know, I've kind of been like back and forth about Chiefs games, but I remember taking a walk in Independence Oaks over the holidays and tuning into the Chiefs-Raiders game where the Chiefs got defeated by the Raiders. And that was just a game for me where it's just like, yeah, this team is very, very much beatable. I mean, the Lions did it in week 1.
Yeah.
Lions did it in week 1.
Granted,
where
they didn't have Kelsey or Jones. Chris
That
Jones,
is
which
true.
are 2 big pieces that we probably would have lost that game.
Oh yeah.
And also, if any of their receivers could have caught a ball,
That
the
yeah.
Chiefs.
And
That
here's
would have helped.
And here's the thing with the Chiefs. There's only 3 people in my mind that are going to get the ball most often, or at least try to. Patrick Mahomes, if he tries to run it, Rashee Rice, and Travis Kelce.
And don't forget Pacheco too.
And Isaiah Pacheco. I almost forgot about Pacheco. Thank you. Isaiah Pacheco will definitely get the ball. I like Pacheco. He's a heck of a running back. Rashee Rice is amazing. He's been
come into his
showing up.
own.
He's been showing up when he needs to. And I will say this about this whole Taylor Swift thing. To quote the legendary Al Michaels, you can't make the sideshow the show. And mind you, that comment got him kicked off of playoff coverage.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Crazy
They
stuff.
took away the Amazon Prime exclusive stream because he said that. Yep.
Yep, they did. He is absolutely right. If the cameras are going to be going to Taylor Swift 9 times out of 10, especially in the Super Bowl, what's the point? You're going to have 95 to 100 million angry Super Bowl watchers at home seeing Taylor Swift on their television screen, and if they put Taylor Swift on the Jumbotron, I wouldn't be surprised if some boo birds rang out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco scored a touchdown, and they cut to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense sometimes what these
Like, if it's
directors
Travis,
are thinking.
I get it. But if
Exactly,
it's,
Tyler.
If it's just some random like person getting a touchdown, then why does it matter?
Yeah, who does she other than Taylor or other than Travis Kelce, who does she connect to on that team? Nobody. Maybe Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, maybe Patrick.
Since
If you
Brittany's
want to
up
connect
there.
Brittany and whatever. But I mean, I think the best part of that game last weekend, the Chiefs game, the Chiefs-Bills game, was Jason Kelce, shirtless, cracking a cold one.
Absolutely.
In front of
Now
Taylor
that's
Swift.
something
That was
I would want to see.
and
That's
exactly.
That's funny. It's
And you know
cool.
what? I get it. Taylor Swift's the biggest pop star in the world. You're going to have to show her if she's at the game. That's why you show the celebrities. But they show them once. They show Celebrity Row once. Like, hey, these guys are like the Lions game was a perfect example. The camera didn't cut to Barry Sanders, Eminem, Calvin Johnson, or Taylor Lautner every single time. They showed them once before the game. They're like, look at the people that have showed up for this event, right? And then nothing else. Maybe after the game they showed them a little bit, but that's because we won, right? If you show Taylor Swift at the beginning of the game or once during the game, it's understandable. It's Taylor frickin' Swift.
Right.
But it's just the way they do it and the amount of times they do it is where it gets a little OD. Yeah. Now, we've talked a lot about the NFL.
I'll make
go
one
ahead.
more point.
Go ahead.
What I said earlier, I'm rooting for the Ravens in this game. I'm 1,000% rooting for the Ravens. I am not a Swiftie. I like some of her songs. And a bunch of my friends back home are big Swifties. I'm not saying what I said to bash Taylor Swift at all. I think she is the biggest celebrity on the planet, 1,000%.
It's got to be, yeah.
She's got to be, but I'm not bashing Taylor Swift. I just want to say I don't want to see her on my screen at the Super Bowl. But I do rather want to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl because of what we did to them.
Is it a necessary evil?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's a balance between the good and evil.
Or maybe
I want Montgomery to light up Taylor Swift.
If you think about it, the Ravens, it could be a revenge game for us. We could be mad at that because that game we lost 30-6 or something like that.
Yeah,
because we'll have that fire in us. Like this team absolutely kicked our horses in the last matchup.
Yeah,
let's beat them when it matters, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was 38-6.
38-6.
When we
Man,
lost
I
against
thought
the
it was a later
Ravens.
loss.
The
It was
Ravens.
just like embarrassing to watch. I couldn't even watch it. I was just like, this is just
And Tyler, one more thing really quickly. When you talk about setting the tone for the Lions 49ers, I don't know if you all got a chance to view Penei Sewell's pregame speech.
Yes.
From the first whistle to the last, you want to come in with that relentless attitude.
right.
That same tone, I feel like, is going to be set. Yes, the stakes are much higher. There's a lot more on the line. But you need to set that tone again.
Exactly.
From the blow of that first whistle until the very last, when that clock hit zeros in the fourth quarter,
Yep.
you got to play a complete 60 minutes of football
Yep.
in order for the Lions to win this game. And that's what they have to do.
Exactly.
And
They
that's
have
something that's something that they know too.
Yes.
And we need big games. So we need big games from Amon, we need big games from Monty, we need big games from Laporta, we need big games from Reynolds, we need
Goff.
a big game from Goff, right?
Goff can't have a game like
mean-
against the Bears, where you have 3 interceptions, right?
And that's what worries me a lot about Jared Goff. How we talked about back in season 1. Going back a little bit to season 1. Jared Goff has ups and he has downs.
Yes.
He's been in his zone lately, which I absolutely love. All it takes is one game for Jared Goff to become a turnover machine.
Yep.
And that's what's got me worried.
It takes one play.
It does take one play.
He has one bad turnover and he gets in his head.
Yeah.
Yep, it's
Right.
a domino effect.
It is. And I think that's one thing that, when we're talking contract extension, right? and we want to extend him, that's something we need to consider. Like, he makes one turnover and he gets in his head, and all of a sudden now it's 3 turnovers, whether it's fumbles, whether it's interceptions, and they're bad interceptions too. Like, they're not even like, oh, tip drill, like a Baker Mayfield to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It's not one of those. It's straight up, there's no lion near him, but he threw it right to a bear.
Exactly.
Right? And that's another thing you got to be worried about with Jared Goff.
Or when he gets pressured, I mean, he just throws it. And he doesn't even know where it's going. And it literally gets picked off.
And that's why Jonah Jackson being out is kind of worrying.
And, I mean, Zach Ertz is a pretty good blocking tight end.
He is, yeah.
He is.
Which will help a lot in the long run with the Jonah Jackson absence. But I'm going to expect a big game out of Jared Goff because that secondary, besides Logan Ryan, who's a safety, is going to be... He's going to be okay.
I think we're going to get a big game out of Jared Goff. You know, I think it was either Monty or Amon-Ra that said Jared Goff doesn't show any emotion a lot, and they said that he's been showing a lot and that he's really excited. So they said that they've never seen him this excited.
Which is good. He can ride that momentum.
I think he's got it in his head that he's ready to go. He's ready to go out there and make plays for us. So,
So we've talked a lot of football.
Yep.
Right. Let's talk a little baseball. We haven't talked any baseball on season 2 so far. The Detroit Tigers, pitchers and catchers report soon. And isn't it an exciting time? You know, it's always around this time where you're like, you know what, I miss baseball. I miss just being able to tune in every day and watch my baseball team. Whether they're garbage or good, it's yet to be determined. But based on the end of last season, this team looks to be hitting the right stride, if you will. We haven't won a division since 2014. We haven't been to the World Series since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's been a little bit, right? And ever since that last division win in 2014, we've kind of seen a gradual, and then Al Avila decided to make some decisions, and then right, and everything crashed and burned. Scott Harris kind of came in here. New management, and all of a sudden, we are looking up as Tigers fans. We have one of the best farm systems in baseball, right? And I think that's so exciting, right? Max Clark, right? He's one of those players where it's like, you got to go see him. He's box office in the minors. And imagine when he gets up to the big leagues when he grows older. But I want to pick your guys' brain a little bit here. What are your favorite moves of the offseason? There's been a lot of moves, a lot of pitcher moves. What are your guys' favorite moves of the offseason?
Well, pitching has been our number one moves this year. I love the Maeda signing. I do love it. Chafin, I feel like I want him to be our closer, and then move Lange to be just a rotation guy to get his confidence back up, because after that Berger walk-off grand slam last year, I feel like that killed his confidence. I want to see Lange laying as a bullpen rotation guy, and I want Andrew Chafin to be our closer, because Lange definitely is not a good closer at all.
Lang and Foley next to each other at the end of that bullpen, not quite closer, but at the end of that bullpen, it's going to be fun to watch.
I do agree.
And we're not going to be losing games at the end of the game anymore. We've seen it a lot last season where pitching was the number one downfall for this team. The bats were hot, right? We could score 4 or 5 runs, but all of a sudden we're giving up 6, 7, 8 runs, and it's kind of like, why can't we just pitch well, right? Why can't we have a good pitching? I think Scott Harris realized that. I think our new GM, the name's blanking on me, our new GM realized that. And they went into this offseason like, all right, we got to spend some cash. They went out, they got a veteran to put at the end of our rotation. Bye-bye Joey Wentz, hello Kenta Maeda, right? Wentz is a good farm guy. When break glass in case of emergency, start him for a couple games. You might lose him, but he's a bridge guy to get you through that, right? We just avoided arbitration with Mize, right? That's perfect. We avoided arbitration with Skubal. That's perfect. We have a good starting rotation. Our bullpen's starting to fill out. Maybe we see Wentz at a bullpen spot.
Maybe.
He played really well in the bullpen last year, in my opinion, given what it's worth from last season. You're having this bullpen fill out, and now you're looking at this pitching rotation like, okay, we can win some games with the pitching rotation. And you're seeing the Twins slowly lose pieces, right? The Twins, they did not win that division last year convincingly. And I think this is the Tigers' chance right here. You have a fresh start after Cabrera. You have a nice, fun, young team. You're adding pieces to it. There's still pieces you can go out and get. Scott Harris isn't done yet, folks. This team's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a fun team.
And it helps that, Like you look at guys like Job and Colt Keith,
Yep.
and Max Clark,
Henry Malloy.
all of those guys. If you've looked at all of the reports from ranking all the farm systems, they're top 3.
Yeah.
All of them. Every single one. Expect a huge year. And it helps that we're in a very weak division.
Yeah.
Minnesota's losing a lot. I think I said this yesterday, but I think Cody Bellinger, my dark horse team that I could see Bellinger go to is the Twins.
Yeah.
They're losing a lot. The Guardians, terrible last year. The White Sox, they're not getting better at all. They might lose Tim Anderson to free agency or retirement. And then the Royals, they have Bobby Witt.
They're the toilet bowl of Major League.
They added a lot of good pieces, like Will Smith over the offseason. They got Bobby Witt still on. They added another guy that I can't think of off the top of my head. It's 8 in the morning. But this division's weak.
Very weak.
The Tigers, who have a very strong bullpen and a very strong farm system and a very good hitting rotation. You still got guys like Carpenter and Torque and Rake Rogers, and then Parker Meadows, who's probably going to get the opening day nod. I think Cole Keith gets the opening day nod. Riley Green. Although
he'll get you a double just off his speed alone.
Just expect us to be scary good next year.
And AJ Hinch is a good manager too. He thinks those guys, the guys love him. We just signed him to an extension. So pitchers and catchers report February 19th. And our first spring training game is the 24th, I want to say. It's at the bottom of your screen if you're watching on YouTube. Against the Yankees. Yes, thank you, Tyler.
Ooh.
Against the Yankees. It'll be a fun one. Spring training is always fun to watch because it's like you're so into it. Let's go, right? Mm-hmm. We got all of our farm guys and we have all of our big league guys together, playing together, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. We could see some breakout stars, too. Spring training is always a fun time. Everybody's coming back together over baseball. It also signifies that it's getting warmer because this weather is terrible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This weather is terrible. Like, I'm usually a winter fan. Not this type of winter.
I almost fell 5 times on my way
north
to the studio today.
Oh, yeah. We all almost fell on the way to the studio today. It was not fun outside, but the Tigers, they're going to be fun. Let's talk a little bit more about the Lions in this Detroit sports segment. We talked about the championship. I want to talk about the offseason. The offseason would be pretty interesting for the Lions, isn't it? We're talking a lot of Lions, but obviously we're talking a lot of Lions because they're in the NFC Championship. They're the talk of the town, right? Yeah. Free agency is going to be in the offseason. It's going to be interesting with the draft, with what Brad Holmes wants to do. Who are we keeping? Who are we extending? I want to pick your guys' brains at, what you guys think needs to happen and what you guys think will happen with this team in the offseason.
Ooh. Let's see. I had quite a bit of people tell me that, golf's not going to lead us to a Super Bowl, right? But I personally like golf. I think golf can take us a very long way. And does anybody know how long he's on contract for?
I think he has 1 or 2 years left.
Jared Goff contract. Thank you, Google. I accidentally spelled goof. He signed a 4-year contract. Oh, that's a great year you gave me. It ends in 2024, so next year's his last year. That's why contract extensions are talking.
So I think we definitely extend golf. I don't think there's any questions to that, in my opinion. I think Campbell loves golf, and
he loves the system too, especially if you keep Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm. And we love golf. Yeah. Most importantly, I love golf.
He's my goofball.
But I think, I think that we're just gonna have. I don't know. I feel like we should keep the same team. I really think that everybody who needs to be. I think we have a solid team. Maybe a few pieces to pick up here and there, but I think a lot of people should stay and get extended further.
Secondary is a big one.
I was going to say, sign a corner.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sign a corner, either that or maybe another interior defensive lineman.
Yeah, because we lost Bugs.
That would be my two.
I was just thinking
and we're not drafting a cornerback. It's not often you see draft picks hit and make an impact as quickly as 4 of our guys have.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's not normal. We're not experiencing something normal right now, especially at the cornerback position. You need to sign somebody that's a veteran, right, that could play good in coverage and can stay on their man. Because I'm tired of watching Cam Sutton get beat on a crossing route.
Exactly.
I'm tired of watching it. It makes me want to throw my phone at the TV.
And sometimes he even has help, and we still can't get it. I don't understand, why that happens.
The opponent always slices up our defense. We need cornerback help. We're good at safety. We're good at linebacker, and we're good at the edge, the defensive ends. Interior defense, cornerback. Michael, you hit it right on the head, right there with those two. Those signings need to be made. Whether it's trades, whether it's signings, those moves need to be made for this defense. And this team's doing this without a defense, without a secondary. This team's doing this without a secondary. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
Because you give us a secondary, and I think we win 2 or 3 more games, and we already won 12.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
And also, get CJ an extension. This was, I don't know how we got a top 5 safety for that low of a deal.
It was a prove-it deal.
It was a prove-it deal, although he didn't prove it due to injury.
So he's going to probably get another.
He's going to get another prove-it deal from the Lions, and he loves the Lions, and we love CJ.
And he loves the city too. That's big.
He loves Detroit. We love CJ. I want him back, and whenever he plays, he's a big impact. Like the Bucs game, although it was a tip drill pick, it's still a pick. And the last pick against the Vikings in the last game of the year, he got the last pick.
Tip drills are hard to come by.
They are.
When they happen, you're not expecting it, and you got to adjust on the fly. And sometimes, guys don't make those catches, right? And you'll see guys on the ground with their head in the field, and they're just going like they're pounding the ground.
Yeah.
And they're just like, why? Why couldn't I catch that? We practiced that. That's why you practice. That's why it's called tip drill. You practice it because you can't expect it, and it's hard to do. And people aren't giving him credit for that. I'm like,
yeah,
why not?
CJ he talks his talk and he backs it up, I feel.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I
didn't have a lot of confidence in him at first, but I mean, he really has stepped up. I mean, he definitely walks the walk.
Yeah,
I'd say that he's something, man.
I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on another thing. While we're stressing interior defensive linemen and corners in the draft, whether that be trades or drafting, what do you guys think about expanding or improving the tight end room? Jared Goff has been going to a lot of his tight ends.
Maybe extending Ertz.
Sam Laporta, maybe extending Zach Ertz. I mean, Brock Wright. Maybe if you can develop him in the offseason, he could be a potential target.
Yeah.
I mean, even the wide receiver room, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Reynolds is good, J-Mo's good, Amon-Ra's good, but you don't have that consistent deep ball threat. Hello, Keon Coleman out of Florida State in the draft. You brought that up to me.
I would use my first-round pick on Keon Coleman.
He's a deep ball threat that can go up and get that ball.
I think Khalif Raymond was a rebuilding piece, although he has played wonderful this year. He's hurt.
He could stay as a punt return guy. He's a really good returner.
I think just re-sign him, give him a lesser role, and then get Keon Coleman. Move DPJ. I want to keep DPJ. I love him. Michigan made. And Raymond. Sorry, I was blanking. Keep him. Give him a lesser role. Draft Keon Coleman. And then if one of them is hurt, I want Chark back. I think we got Chark signed a 1 or 2 year deal. He hasn't really done much in Carolina because
nobody did much in Carolina.
Well, because Bryce Young's a horrible quarterback. Although, yeah, it is his first year. I'll cut him some slack. But I think Chark's going to leave Carolina. I think he'll come back. Because
he could be our deep ball threat.
He was a great deep ball threat when he was here in Detroit.
Yeah, he was, especially at the end of the season. He made some great plays.
And I feel like Chark coming back would help a lot. Will it happen? No, but that's a thought.
We saw Amon-Ra in that Buccaneers game. He went up for a jump ball, and we all collectively laughed because he's not a jump ball guy. And you need jump ball plays in your arsenal. And we just kind of, that J-Mo is that guy right now, but he's not consistent enough, or he's not consistent enough at getting downfield in time, I want to say. To make those plays consistently. We saw it against Tampa Bay. We saw it last year in his first ever catch. He is a deep ball guy, but we need that guy that'll jump up within the trees and pull one down. Amon-Ra just can't do that. That's not his job. His job is to play slant routes, and his job is to catch the ball when you're not supposed to catch the ball. And he does that at an incredible rate. But we saw with that jump ball to Amon-Ra, we're like, okay, if we had someone like a Keon Coleman, someone like a DJ Chark up there, they might be able to go up and snag that ball down. That's 6 points.
Yes.
Right? And that could be the difference between a game or not. You need to throw up a jump ball. Something that happened in Ford Field, I hate bringing it up, Rodgers to Rodgers, that's a jump ball threat. As much as Richard Rodgers wasn't the premier tight end, he was a jump ball tight end, and he made those plays consistently. So you need a jump ball guy. Could Laporta be developed into that? Maybe. With his strength and his size and his athleticism, you might be able to see him turn into a jump ball tight end and kind of become this unicorn at the tight end position. But you really need to get that help, I think, at wide receiver, just so you can add some more explosiveness to your deep ball attack.
Yeah.
All right, football seems a little redundant, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's talk some hockey, some stick and puck.
Jeez.
The Detroit Red Wings, they're hot in January. Last night, 5-4 loss to the very good Dallas Stars, a very good hockey team over there in Dallas. We came back. We were down 5-2 after 2 frames, and we tried to make the comeback, and it all came down to one play, didn't it?
Yes, it did. The late game rally became just short because a gentleman by the name of Christian Fischer went off sides. He had a beautiful snipe. I will give him that. He had a beautiful goal. Dallas made the right call and challenging. One offsides. Really, really unfortunate. Game should have been tied. We could have went to overtime. But
And at least snuck a point out of that. Salvaged a point.
I think if we could have gotten a point, I would have felt a lot better about last night.
Especially in the standings. Like, points are so... Like, with the Leafs and the Lightning right now, looking at the standings, the Lightning are at 55 points, the Leafs are at 54, and we're at 53. Right? Points are so important right now in the standings. We're coming up on All-Star, right? After All-Star, that's where it really gets down to the nitty-gritty of getting those points, making sure you're salvaging at least a point a game, right? You want to go to overtime or win each game, right? You need a point from each game. You can't go a game without getting a point. And I mean, we just took care of the Lightning, right? That was huge. But getting a point yesterday would have been just amazing, right? It would have been perfect for us. We're losing too many games down the stretch.
Yes.
Something that I'm noticing. I mean, just look at the teams around us. The Maple Leafs have 14 losses. We have 18. I can recount 4 of those games that we lost because we were giving up goals. I mean, San Jose is one. Ottawa and Sweden is one, just off the top of my head. Just important games that we're losing like that. And is it because we're a little young? Yes. I mean, we're not that young statistically, but we're still a young team, in my opinion. Just experience-wise, we need to put together a better late game. And honestly, I mean, from last night, full game, but just in general, late game performances.
It doesn't help that we're 5th in the Atlantic.
Yeah,
beating Tampa was huge. I'll give them that. But if Tampa would have lost yesterday, then we would still be competing.
What's funny is I went on StatMuse last night. It was like 11. I don't know if the Maple Leafs played later, but it said we were 4th. So on the graphic, it's going to say we're 4th. We're 5th.
We are 5th in the
StatMuse led me down the wrong path, and the graphics already in the system. So I'm sorry about that. It's gonna be wrong. I don't want to hear anything about it. I did my research, and what was presented to me was put onto the graphics. So we do apologize. We are 5th. We wish we were 4th. We are 5th in the Atlantic.
But the one thing that I'll say, and I'll keep this short and sweet because I want to move on, or we should move on, but please rest Lyon. Please rest Lyon.
Yeah.
You saw last night, he's so tired. He gave up 5 goals.
When's
He's
Husso
not
coming
like
back?
this. On a night, he should be coming back in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But although I don't like Husso.
He's a good backup. He's not a starter, though.
Yeah, he's definitely not a starter, but Lalonde's eyes, he's a starter. But Alex Lyon needs a rest. You saw that last night. We said this, I, and then friend of the show who was on the show yet last time, Isaac. They said one of these days in the next couple weeks that they're going to take Lyon out of the game. And then soon enough, you saw he gave up 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, and then eventually 5. And they still didn't pull him. Although the Red Wings did almost pull a comeback. We never pulled Lyon. I think next game, who do we play next? The
Philly.
Flyers for Hockey Town Heritage Night at LCA. I think Reimer should get the start.
Oh, the Flyers
in fact, we did pull Lyon at the start of the 3rd period. Reimer came in.
I did not watch past the 2nd period.
Reimer came in to finish off the 3rd period.
Okay.
And I don't know the exact number of shots he faced, but he didn't allow another goal.
I mean, it just kind of shows how tired Lyon is and how much Lyon might need a little bit of a rest. And maybe I don't feel comfortable against the Flyers doing it. I don't think it'll be against the Flyers. Then again, I don't know. I'm not a hockey coach. So I mean, the Flyers are a good team.
Just taking a look at the schedule going forward a little bit. Flyers are a good team. Wingers got them tomorrow at 7.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have Vegas coming in on Saturday. I don't think the Red Wings are winning that game. My apologies, but Vegas is just too good of a hockey team.
Senators will be
you can beat the
that's
Senators.
a must-win.
I expect you to beat the Senators,
That's a
and I
must-win
agree,
game.
Anthony. That is a must-win game. And then you go all the way, and I think after the Senators is the All-Star break.
Yes, and then we don't play. Senators is next Wednesday, and we don't play till February 10th after the All-Star break. That's against the Canucks. Which,
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough.
Oh, boy.
We need the point.
And then we have the Oilers, and then we have the Canucks again, and then we have the Flames.
Wow.
And then we have the Kraken, and then we have the Avalanche, and then we have the Blues, and then we finally have the Blackhawks.
Oh, great.
I'm noticing a lot of home games, huh?
Yeah.
A lot
Will it
of
help?
home games.
It'll
Lots of
help a
them.
little bit.
Hockey Town's got to show up, man. Hockey Town's got to show
I
up.
really want to go.
February 24th, CMU night against the Blues.
Yes.
I might be going.
I will be there.
I will be there. I will be there.
I will also be there.
I want that sweater they're giving away. It's a
They're
pretty
giving
sweet
away
item.
a CMU/Detroit Red Wings barbershop pole jersey.
We'll put it up on the screen.
It is you could see, look at it right now. It's beautiful.
It's sweet.
I'm going to wear that every day,
Might
It's
have to
sweet.
tag
and I
along.
will be
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I don't know.
Tag
Next time you may see us in studio, for those who are watching on YouTube, just be on the lookout if we decide to come dressed accordingly and wearing that beautiful barbershop pole jersey. You're not going to want to miss it.
That's good. That's good. That's gonna be a fun one, and you know what? Hopefully we can win that game too. So we have something good to talk about on the show.
This schedule has been a gauntlet for the Red Wings.
It's not getting any easier.
It's not getting any easier. I love this Red Wings team. I really want them to make a push. But these games down the stretch are all the more important, especially after the All-Star break. You've got to start winning in order to get yourself closer to contention.
I mean, the hot start. We're 7-2-1 in January. It's important, right? We needed that jump in the standings. We needed that jump in confidence. But honestly, I think it made us a little tired. I think you could see that last night. It made us a little tired. The Stars are a good team, though. All credit to them. It was a heck of a game, and hopefully the Red Wings can pull off a couple W's until we come back on Monday.
We need the points.
We do.
We need them back.
We need the points really bad. We're going to move on to a depressing portion of the
What a
episode.
way to end off the
What
show.
a way to cap it off. The Detroit Pistons.
Anthony, you probably got a lot to say about that.
I'm a
Yeah.
Bye, Ryan.
I'll say my stuff and I'll just let you talk.
The Pistons. Oh boy, where do we even begin with this dumpster fire of an organization? Well, we had a couple promising performances against the Bucks. Interesting tidbit here: the Bucks fired their coach Adrian Griffin after a 30-13 start after 43 games. It's the quickest a coach after just being hired has been fired in NBA history. The most recent, Mo Cheeks, after 50 games in Detroit back in 2014. Y'all remember Mo Cheeks?
Wow.
He was.
That's insane.
He lived up to his last name.
He was awful.
He was terrible.
He was Cheeks. He was terrible. Great player, not a great coach. You want to know what caused that firing? The Detroit Pistons giving the Bucks a run for their money in back-to-back games without Cade Cunningham. That is exactly why the Bucks fired their coach. And it's little wins at this point. I consider that a victory. I'm smiling ear to ear because we made a contender, and I absolutely hate the Bucks. We made a contender fire their coach. Beautiful stuff. Monty Williams, I don't like you. If the Bucks are firing their coach after 43 games and a massive contract, 4 years, lots of dollars, don't know why we're so attached to you. You're terrible. You have TikTokers out coaching you. Let me say that again, folks. TikTokers are out coaching Monty Williams. Oh, good grief. I don't even know where to begin because it's just all bad. Tonight we play the Hornets. Hornets just traded Terry Rozier to the Heat. Massive deal for Miami. It makes them instantly contenders. Miami, to me, was pretenders at the start of the season. They're contenders again. You got rid of Bubba Butt Lowry, and you're putting in Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier is a heck of a player. He's all-star numbers, 24 points a game, coming off an injury, and he's been playing his tail off for the Hornets. Will we see a dip in production next to Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez and friends? Maybe. But it might dip down to 20 points a game. He's still going to be an impact player that they need. They need a player like him next to Jimmy, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch that team. Now, I think, in my opinion, they went from not being fun to being fun. I like Terry Rozier that much. But that being said, he's not playing tonight because he's not on the team anymore. Kyle Lowry's not going to play until he's traded to another team because he's not playing for the Hornets. So they'll be without Terry Rozier.
Looking like a win. Don't
know if LaMelo Ball's playing or not. I don't know his injury status. Michael, if you want to pull up LaMelo Ball's injury status, that would be
I gotcha.
Beautiful. There's a chance. Monte Morris, folks, is going to make his Pistons probable. Who knows with how the season's going? He's probable.
He'll be out another 5 months because the Pistons don't want to play him.
He'll stub his toe on the way into the stadium, and all of a sudden he's down for the rest of the season. Monte Morris is scheduled to make his Pistons debut tonight. And Cade Cunningham is back from injury. Very promising stuff. The Pistons have a chance. We are favored by 2.5, according to Michael. And
now I see 3.5 on ESPN.
Wow. So as the show's progressed, the Pistons have better odds to win. I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. We have to win this game. This is a must-win, man. This is a must-win. If we lose this game with the first time this season our roster is 100% healthy, I am genuinely going to cry. I am so tired of watching this team lose. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of going on social media and seeing my team clowned and mocked for their historic garbage. It's historically terrible, and I'm tired of it. It's so infuriating how I'm sitting in a chair eating fast food, making better play calls and timeout calls and rotations than our head coach, who is paid over $100 million over 8 years.
He really does. He really does.
He's horrible.
Folks, I am tired. I am tired of wearing this logo on my chest almost every day. To be 4-39, is that the record? 4-39.
I believe so.
Yeah.
4 wins. We're just over halfway. 4 wins. The Lions have more wins than you bums. This is terrible. Cade Cunningham got hurt because he's carrying you guys so much. He's the only player on this team. The only player. Jaden Ivey's been exceptional over the last couple games.
Duran's also been really nice.
Duran's been. He's missed a lot of layups, bunnies at the rim. I've noticed from Duran, but I mean, he makes up for it. He gets a couple double-doubles.
Gotta squeeze in real quick. We need to close out games.
Yeah, we do. We should have beat the Bucks twice, but we would have closed out.
No, like looking back at games, you got to realize how close we were and how we were up most games, like at half. I mean, we had leads after half. I mean, we're talking about like sometimes even 13, 15-point leads, and then what happens? Like, all of a sudden, like it seems like every single game, a team, we're up by 15, and all of a sudden it just gone.
The Celtics
and
is
then
a
we're
great
down
example.
by 20.
The Kings is also a prime example.
We're up by 21 against the best team in the league, with the record on the line.
Exactly.
The 28-game record on the line, up by 21 against the best team in the league, where they haven't lost all season at their place. We're at their place, up by 21. And we blow it.
Exactly.
I don't get. It's not even intentional. This team isn't intentionally losing. This isn't intentional. This isn't Dwayne Casey, which I miss you, Dwayne Casey. Please come back. I never thought those words would come out of my mouth because I did not like him last year. But I mean, what else am I supposed to do? My team sucks. You brought up a great point, Tyler, an absolutely amazing point. I'm going to go through all of the games that we should have won if we closed out a game. Michael, I want you to keep a tally of how many games this is, okay? Miami, first game of the season, Miami, lost 103-102. Okay, Portland, we blew a giant lead. We were called the Showtime Pistons by Bleacher Report, and everything fell from there. That's what started the losing streak. Yep. Well, Oklahoma City did, but Oklahoma City just outplayed us, and Cade had an off night. Yep. New Orleans, we were only down by 4 with about 2 or 3 minutes remaining. Golden State, we lost by 11, but we were in the game towards the end. Chicago, should have beat Chicago, but we didn't. Obviously, you're going to lose games like that. Atlanta, 126-120. I remember literally leaning over in pain after that game, and I had to take a walk around campus to relieve my anger. I don't know if you remember that, Tyler.
Was that the 40-point game? Or
Yes. No. Yeah. No. Bagley had 22 points. He had 22 and 11. Cade had 12 assists. So another off game from Cade.
What about November 8th?
What was November?
Milwaukee. It just completely slipped past me.
That was a pain.
I don't know how November 8th came went right away from me. 120 to 118 loss. We should have beat Milwaukee there. Absolutely terrible play calling by Monty Williams in that one. Cleveland, right after that Atlanta game, should have beat Cleveland. Denver, at home, should have beat Denver. I mean, they didn't have Jokic and they didn't have their coach, and you still couldn't beat them. You lost by 4. We got blown out. Washington. Blown out by Washington?
Mm-hmm. That was sad.
Equally as bad Washington? I mean, how many points did Cade have that one? Let's take a look. He had 26. He did his part. Nobody else showed up, though.
Don't forget about Memphis, where Desmond Bane almost dropped 50 on us.
Don't worry, we're getting there. There's still more games before that. Cleveland, 110 to 101, should have won that game. Bojan Bogdanovic's first game back. Memphis should have won that game, but Desmond Bane decided to hang 56 on us or whatever. 48. 49. A high number. Orlando got absolutely murdered that game. Indiana is a great one. Start of winter break. First game at home, and I'm in utter pain on my living room floor, trying not to wake up my mother because we should have won that game. We got blown up by Philadelphia a couple times past that, and then we get blown up by Milwaukee. Cade Cunningham's 43-point game. Should have won that one, but you didn't. Utah, they were missing their entire team. 60 points per game worth of players. Gone. Not there. You lose on my dad's birthday, mind you. Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. You guys wanted shout-outs. There you go. Brooklyn. You lost 2 straight against Brooklyn. Should have won at least one of them. I say the one at home. Should have won that one at home. Kid had 41 points in that game, and you lost.
Spurs.
Don't worry. We're getting there. Boston. Another OT loss. Guess what? Should have won that game, up by 21. And then, hallelujah, the day arrives where we broke the streak. We beat Toronto by 2, and we tried to lose that game at the end. We were up by 8 with a minute left, and we barely won. We almost turned the ball over with 2 seconds left, down, only up by 2. What are we doing, folks? Houston, we got trampled. Utah should have won that game.
Again.
148 points and you can't win? Where's the defense? Where's the team that gave up under 100 points a couple games prior? All right, anyways, Golden State should have won that game.
Steph Curry just
lost
went
by
off.
4. Lost by 4. That's late game coaching by Monty Williams. Denver, we were close, but we ended up getting blown out. I'm not going to count that. Sacramento, you were up by 20 and lost by 20. How sad can you guys get?
Fun fact, that's the first time in NBA history a team that was winning by 20, lost by 20.
Wow.
Yep. Crazy. I think
first time in NBA history.
I think that was the first quarter where it was, 47-26? Pistons were leading after the first quarter. I knew it too. I was doing game notes with one of my buddies for Central Michigan women's basketball broadcast at Eastern for a weekend back in January. This month, actually. Just about 11 days ago. And we were looking at the scores for the Pistons just for the heck of it. I was just like, Nate, shout out Nate Arbaugh. Nate, the Pistons are up 47-26 after 1. And he's just like, wait, what? I'm just like, yeah.
Yep.
You ever thought you heard me say that? And when I got back to my dorm, I plugged in to George and Special K, absolute legends. And I watched the Pistons just slowly bend, break, and fold under pressure to allow the Kings to get back to halftime. It's just like, I cannot with this team.
They got back, they shut the door, and they put their muddy boots all over our face. That was absolutely disgusting. Let's continue, because there's more. San Antonio, how do you lose to Wemby and nobody else? It was just Wemby. His first ever double-double or triple-double. Was it double or triple?
Triple-double.
He made history against us because a pine cone could make history against us. Houston, we lose by 2. Literally, that was the basketball gods just hating us because we shot a 3 and it was in and it popped out. How much fun are we having? We beat Washington by double digits and it felt like we won the Super Bowl. I can't believe that happened. And then we lost to Minnesota, should have beat Minnesota. I'm sorry, we should have, but another collapse and we can't contain Anthony Edwards makes sense. Ivy had 32. And then should have beat Milwaukee, should have beat Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Why? I'm bouncing up and down because I can't understand the incompetence level of this team. 4-39 is an absolute joke. It's an absolute disgrace. People say we sacrificed the Pistons for the Lions. We didn't sacrifice the Pistons. We delegated the Pistons. Yeah. They're gone. They're not even here anymore, it seems like. And you want to know what's funny? People are still showing up to the games. Mm-hmm. People still show up to the games and watch this team.
And to be honest, I don't know why.
I really don't either. Know why.
I don't know why people still tune in. People watch this team because they want a good laugh. Instead of turning on Sebastian Maniscalco, instead of turning on Kevin Hart, instead of turning on Bill Burr, get a good laugh. Mm-hmm. Nah, you turn on a Pistons game and you get your comedy fix for the evening.
I'm down in the dumps.
I'm done.
Mentally, I'm down in the dumps, and when I need a laugh, I turn on the Detroit Pistons. Because of this man, I watch almost every single Pistons game. I missed maybe 2 Pistons games because of work over the break. Last season, I watched maybe half the season because I'm still a big Pistons fan. It's the fact that Detroit is not a basketball town. And we were a basketball town. We're the Lions town, we're Tiger town, we're hockey town. You look at the Pistons and they're like, oh. Pistons, they're like, let's go to a Red Wings game. Yes, let's go to a Tigers game. Yes, let's go to a Pistons game.
No.
Oh. Nah, take Jimmy. Don't take me. I don't want to be representing this team at all. Yeah. It's just this is the game where everyone is healthy. Not a single scratch is on the Henry Ford Health System's injury report. Not a single name is on there. This is the game if we lose without Terry Rozier and possibly LaMelo Ball, and I don't even want to name anybody else because I don't like the Hornets. If we lose, fire everybody. Monty, I was so excited for you. I was so excited for you at the beginning of the year. You're horrible. You only succeed when you have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
Chris Paul made Monty Williams. Sorry, Chris Paul made Monty Williams. He wasn't good till Chris Paul arrived.
I don't get this team. There were a couple games where I was at functions, family functions, or I was at a Secret Santa on Christmas Eve with my friends Jonah Woods. Shout out Jonah Woods back at Fraser. I was at a Christmas party. I was sitting next to my best friend, and I was like, I'm not going to watch the Pistons tonight. I caved in and I watched the Pistons against the Brooklyn Nets the second time at Brooklyn. We lost. I almost cried. I was up north of Petoskey against the Celtics when we were up 19. I was with my cousins. I was with family. When Bojan got that tip, I ran around the neighborhood like a maniac outside. I got people coming outside of their houses telling me, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" I was like, "The Pistons tied. This is incredible against the Celtics." And they're like, "You scared us." And I'm like, "I don't care. The Pistons are tied." And then we lost. I flushed my St. Cecilia's white crew neck down the toilet. I still wear it to this day. I washed it. But there were many times where I wanted to I don't like the Pistons. They are driving me insane. And if we don't win tonight with a full roster, I'd get it because Monte Morris hasn't played a single game for the Pistons, and he needs to get used to the system. But he's had 5 months to.
You have 5 months to learn the playbook.
Yeah. And he should learn the playbook.
Can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
Why does it feel like we can't adjust?
Because our coach is incompetent.
We literally can't. I feel like we go into halftime, we go in the locker room, and he just goes, "Yeah, keep doing. Hey, do the same."
Are you guys having fun?
Good.
Yes. Yay! At least we're having fun.
That's how I feel.
Who's having fun? Nobody. Not the
You're doing a great job.
Well, the other team's in the locker room. Okay, guys, we're losing to the Pistons. All right, we need to adjust here.
I honestly wouldn't even
adjust. We lose by 20.
I wouldn't even be surprised if LaMelo doesn't play tonight just because we are the Pistons. He's been on the injury report. He's been playing, but he's been on the injury report. Underdog NBA said he was active Monday due to an ankle. It's that same ankle that's been bothering him all year that kept him out most of the year so far. So we'll see what happens with him. Just looking ahead for the Pistons, you got Washington on Saturday.
Yep.
That's
You
winnable.
have Thursday, Friday off. You have Washington on Saturday, and then you have OKC in a matinee before the Lions on Sunday, and then you have Cleveland, which, by the way, tickets as low as $5, which is absolutely crazy.
That's crazy.
LA,
actually really nice.
Orlando, Sacramento, Portland. You at least need to beat Charlotte, Washington, Portland, and knock
Maybe the
off-
Clippers.
Exactly.
No, not the Clippers are on fire. You could beat Los Angeles, the Lakers. You can beat. Oh, goodness. I don't know. After Portland, I don't see another win, at least until mid-March.
Because
so
you would say that you would see another win, but at the same time,
every team is better
not
than us.
anymore. Like,
Every
I mean,
team is better than us.
when you watch the Pistons play, it looks just like lazy basketball. If this is the stuff you learn in high school, they're failing to do it. I mean, I played on a basketball team in high school, and I mean, they're failing to do like basic things or notice basic things.
With Cade, if we play the way we played against Milwaukee the last 2 games, we can beat teams. We haven't even been playing bad, especially on offense. We just have been collapsing.
Exactly.
All season, it's just been collapse after collapse after collapse. And you know what that goes down to? Coaching. Monty Williams, this is to you. Monty, look me right in the eyes. I know you're watching. You're not watching. You're not watching this. But anyways, Monty, learn rotations. Learn when to call timeouts. You're leaving our guys out there to dry. Learn how to call a rotation. And learn better closeout plays to close out the game. Take the snake, take it out by the head. That's all I got to say.
Monty, right here. Leave. Get out of my... You are worse than Mo Cheeks. If you learn
He
how
is
to...
Mo Cheeks.
If you learn how to close out games and you learn how...
I'm so sorry.
How to... If you learn how to close out games and learn how to make consistent lineups, we would have 20 wins right now. Instead, we have 4! Sorry that I screamed and scared you over your
Headphone
radio.
users were sorry.
I'm sorry. I just don't like Monty Williams. I know... We gotta go.
This is coming from a...
I know, Ryan, you said about 20 games. Anthony, here's your tally for you. I don't know if I miscounted. I might have. But right now, I have 29.
We could be
29!
33!
We could be in first place in the East, bro. Oh,
We could be
God.
where the Orlando Magic is right now.
All
But
the professionalism in this episode went out the window when I said Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
Because it just makes you act insane. I don't get it. Well, as fun as that was, recounting all of our misery from this season, that's all we have for today's show. It turned out to be a long one.
Oh, yeah.
It turned out to be a long one, but it was fun.
good.
Thanks for tuning in. Card Guys, Season 2, Episode 3, 91.5 The Mountain, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in Monday. We're going to go over who's be playing in Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. For my good buddies, Ryan Donnelly, Michael Rosenkranz, and Tyler Brazill, I'm Anthony Schulte saying so long, everybody.
Happy birthday, Mom. 50
Love you,
years
Mom and
old.
Dad.